every algorithm is programmed to do this to you, to be suggestible, to be vulnerable. In other words, you're easier to manipulate and control. What does an FBI interrogation and scrolling through your social media feed have in common? Way more than you realize. If you are curious how you are controlled just like someone in an interrogation, this video is for you. And if you are ready, let's get going. First and foremost, let me paint a very quick picture for you. When we are interrogating someone for a bank robbery or a kidnapping or something worse, a technique is used called fractionation. And this is exactly the same technique that is used by social media on you. Here's how. When you're dealing with questioning a person of interest, you want to take their ego up and bring their ego down as many times as possible. This is called fractionation. It's a psychological phenomenon whereby you get broken down and become more susceptible, more vulnerable, and more controllable. So if we can question somebody and stroke their ego and make them very, very happy about themselves, and then bring them down hard by talking about how foolish they were, how dumb they were by what they did, and how they made a mistake in being caught, it only takes a few times of going up and down for most people to become very vulnerable to being controlled. Likewise, there's a reason why when you're scrolling through your social media feed, you are lifted up and you are brought down and you don't even know it. Here's how it happens. You'll be scrolling through your feed and you'll see great things that you love. You'll see a cat playing the piano. You'll see rescued puppies. You'll see cute raccoons eating on someone's porch. And then all of a sudden, as you're scrolling through, the next thing that you see, war in the Gaza Strip. People killed, explosions happening. The next one you're scrolling through is baby panda, baby animals, things that make you smile and happy. And the next thing, all of a sudden, here's what's going on in Ukraine. Here's how it's happening with Russia. There's all kinds of death and there's all kinds of destruction. So what's happening is your emotions are being forced up and down, up and down. And the way social media takes advantage of this is by using that fractionation, and every algorithm is programmed to do this to you, to be suggestible, to be vulnerable, to buy things, and to respond to things. In other words, you're easier to manipulate and control. By using fractionation, the app itself becomes more sticky because if you're constantly given only good things, the novelty wears off and it's easier to say, oh, that's enough. But if they bring you up and then bring you down to break that supply of dopamine in your brain, all of a sudden you get cortisol. That's the stress hormone. And now there's something wrong. But then a couple seconds later, boom, you're hit again with dopamine. And this makes you spend way more time on the application because the fractionation in and of itself, for lack of a better term, brainwashes you to stay on the app and to buy things that are pushed your way. Now, some people will say, oh, that doesn't affect me at all. I never even noticed it. If you believe that, there's a bigger problem than you understand, because every person is susceptible to this. Everyone has a breaking point. You don't need to be questioned by the FBI. You don't need me shining a spotlight in your face and telling you about jail time. All you need is to be taken up and brought down, taken up and brought down. This happens in nearly every situation where you are being manipulated.
Why don't somebody tell me these things?
All right, guys, if you are still here, do me a favor, click on one of these other videos. I'll be back very soon in the next one. See you then.